Yes, indeed. For the second week in a row, coming at you live on a Monday. Total Hockey Now, even though there's no NHL hockey, plenty of Olympic hockey to get to. That down all the way over there is at Fuzzy Chris 91, representing Team Canada, representing Team USA, at Ant Rivera 86, myself at Pucking Thoughts. Thank you for joining us here on another edition of Total Hockey Now as we get set for the Olympic tournament here for the men's. Women's have already started playing a little bit. Won't spend too much time on the women's side because we all listen. Since 1998, when women's hockey became a thing, it's been Canada, USA in the gold medal game every time. Canada with a 4-2 edge. So I don't see that going any differently. That we're going to have Canada and USA for the women, but maybe the our America, the United States women will get on top today. Will prevail over the Canadian team. We'll talk more about that later, fellas. How we doing here? We're in the NHL break here. Big news that happened last week after our last Monday show. We'll get to in a second with Artemi Panarin. But how we doing here heading into the Olympics?
Listen, it's a great time. Like I don't know how many hours of Olympic coverage I've already consumed. It's an unhealthy amount, right? I could care less what's on TV right now. I'm watching it. I was watching, figure skating. Got a little bit, right? Watching a little bit of downhill skiing. Like if you ask me what any of that is, like what is a short program versus a long, I have no idea, but I'm watching it this time of year. That's all I care about.
I do love the Winter Olympics more than I do like the Summer Olympics. You get me, where in the world are you going to get me sitting in front of a TV watching curling for an hour and a half? Only during the Winter Olympics. And then I love speed skating. The other day we were watching the luge and bobsledding. All fun sports to watch. And the great thing about this Olympic hockey is for all the teams that are currently out in the NHL in playoff position, now you get a little bit of invigoration watching your Olympic hockey team go at it and try to take home an Olympic medal.
And yes, we're going to do a deep dive on all that in just a couple of minutes here. But because we came at you on Monday last week, because I was down at the Super Bowl in San Francisco getting some interviews taped for one of my other jobs. So of course, news breaks while I'm, busy doing interviews, a bunch of them that Artemi Panarin was traded for a conditional 3rd-round pick and prospect Liam Greentree. And listen, I get it. There are a lot of people clamoring there should have been more of a return, and maybe that's true. But the one area that I will cut Chris Drury some slack is it's very tough to make a deal when the guy has a no movement clause and you have to retain salary and he's only going to go to, basically it sounded like Panarin was forcing LA. That was the one thing he really wanted. So I understand that puts you behind the 8 ball, especially when the rest of the league knows that you're dealing him. So but again, maybe the return should have been a little bit better. But my problem is Chris Drury is a moron. That's completely out of touch because supposedly he asked for Will Smith in a potential Sharks deal. On what planet would you think that the San Jose Sharks, whose best player is Celebrini, and right now their second best player is probably Will Smith, would they give that up to get Panarin on a rental? Why would you think that would be the case? Did you not see that? Now, listen, I understand GMs don't, keep up on players' lives and social media, but the one thing that did go viral for them this year was Celebrini and Will Smith sitting outside a coffee shop in New York and a woman asking them questions, not realizing she's talking to 2 of the best young players in the NHL. It happened when he was in town to play the Rangers. Did you not see it? Like, come on now. Like, how stupid do you have to be? I understand, like I tweeted, you don't get what you don't ask for. But come on now. Like, you had a better chance. Is Mike Greer married? Have a girlfriend? You had a better chance of asking for that person for a night in a hotel room than you did about getting Will Smith. You fucktard. I really can't. Like, I trust him to do the trades to rip this team apart. If he is in charge of the draft, this franchise is screwed for the next 5 to 6 years, minimum.
I have never seen Adam this adamant, this angry ever in our time working together on this show or any show. And fire Chris. Should I say fire Chris Drury, Chris? Because I'm a Devils fan. Maybe keep him.
Yeah, from your perspective, you want him to get a 10-year extension.
What are you talking about? Don't let him go anywhere. Tie him to the chair.
I know you gave him a little bit of leeway, Adam, but what an absolute disgrace of a trade for Artemi Panarin. You got to get a little bit more than what you got. Come on. I mean, this team needs to start rebuilding now, or in their case, that the letters that they send out was the retooling.
Okay, retool.
You got to get a little bit better than that. Like you said, he should not make it past the end of this season. And if he does, boy, you could tell that the ownership that's in Madison Square Garden, which kind of has done like the flip now. It was the Knicks that were the laughing stock for 2 decades. The Rangers cannot afford to get into that mode for the next decade and a half.
It's just like to not be aware of the fact as a general manager of a National Hockey League team, to know that Will Smith is an untouchable for the Sharks, to not come on now. Like that just shows like how bad he is at his job. Like, I don't mind the fact that like he rolled his sleeves up and did maybe things unconventionally last year. The players maybe, to go in a 2-month slump over it was a little much. But man, maybe I was wrong in hindsight. Maybe they all realize he's just so incompetent that this is the way it was going to go.
Yeah, but even though he did that last year, the players already have a bad taste in their mouth that don't like him for doing that, and that's not going to attract players to coming here via free agency either.
Exactly.
Listen,
it's a multi-layered thing that's happening here with Drury and the Rangers.
Listen, you can retool if you want, but you got to get something back to retool. If not, you're just handing out freebies here. He's not retooling anything because the toolbox is still empty. You know what I mean? Like you let Trouba go and you didn't really get anything, and Kreider walked and you didn't get anything. And let's go all the way back with Wedberg. Like you also let him walk and didn't get much. And your best asset, which was Panarin, you didn't really get anything. So how do you want to retool if you're not getting anything? You're right, he is, but
Dealey 75x3 hitting the nail on the head as best as anybody can.
He is the tool, yes. But here's the thing, right? There's a lot of things that didn't go well in this entire fiasco. One, even if you want to tell all your fans that you're going to retool, okay, fine, I get it, great. But publicly just telling Panarin, be like, hey, we're not going to sign you, and then sitting him out, and then, listen, players get these no-move clause all the time, but nobody wants to stick around somewhere where they're not wanted. And I get that there are places that he can play or wants to be part of, and it sounds like he went to LA because that's where he wanted to be. So, because we heard about all these different places that he could have gone. Like, he turned down a boatload of money to go to Seattle, which that's a whole other problem, because even when you overpay players, in which I also learned, Seattle, Washington, a tax-free state. I didn't know this. I'm collecting them on my bingo cards because I hear this is important. So when you're a tax-free state paying $14 million per season for 2 extra years, and a player's like, nah, man, I don't want to be there. I mean, listen, we might have to fold the Kraken a little bit early here. We just might have to fold them, but that's okay. I just think Panarin did his former team no solid going out. He's just like, hey, he wakes up one morning, tells his agent, I'm going here. And they just said, all right, I guess this is all we can get. So not even like, hey, what if we try to entertain some other places where you could probably play? Because we heard maybe the Panthers wanted to, acquire him, whether that is true or not, or Tampa Bay or any other of this team. But they traded him away, got, a prospect. I guess you could call it whatever you want. They get a 3rd-round pick with conditions, and they still had to retain 50%. I get it's a contract that expires, but you did this team a solid, right? By having to retain money so it happens. It's bottom tier right here. And I think it speaks to, again, players saying, hey, if you want me to leave, fine, but this is where I'm going. Players have no move clause, no trade clause. They're always willing to waive it and facilitate something, right? It is what it is, right? It's a business. But I don't think Panarin is crying on his way out, heading to the nice beaches in LA with an actual chance to make the playoffs.
Now, I'll put a wrap on this, and then we'll get over to the Olympic stuff. 2 points I want to make. One, the fact that the Rangers told the Windsor Spitfires to not grant a Liam Greentree interview, I think it was to Ken Campbell, I believe, makes you look even more pathetic. Okay, so what? Ken's going to ask him a question, something along the lines of, how does it feel that you're the main piece that's being traded back for Artemi Panarin? Any extra pressure there? Which is a totally valid question. Now, I don't know if Drury's aware of this, but there's this thing called media training that plenty of teams do for their athletes, especially rookies at the beginning of the year. You coach them up on how to answer a question like that. In fact, I'll give the answer. Hey, I'm not in a position to be comparing myself to a great player like Artemi Panarin, who's done so much in this league. My goal is to bring the best version of myself to the Rangers and have the biggest impact I can in the physical department and the offensive department. Is that so freaking difficult? Okay, and then if Ken Campbell keeps harping on the issue, then Ken Campbell looks bad. But you can't be holding this guy from interviews. Like, come on now. That just makes everything look way worse. 2, Islanders are on the rise. Don't appear to be a fluke. The Devils, if you told me to pick a team right now that's not going to make the playoffs this year, but 100% will next year, they would be my pick. What do the Rangers have going for them in the future? You got Shesterkin and Fox. Now, I know the late 90s and early 2000s were the doldrums for the Rangers. You had a guy named Wayne Gretzky for the first half of that period to still put butts in the seats. And while it didn't work to put together an EA Sports video game team the way Sather did, trying to bring in guys like Lindros and Bure at the end of their careers, at least, like, all right, they stink, but I get to go watch Pavel Bure, even if he's a shell of himself. So, nobody's like, I'm not saying the seats are going to be empty in the Garden, but they better not take for granted that Ranger games have always sold out, because there's really not much of a thing to go see unless something drastic changes over the next week.
You're not going to watch JT Miller?
Team USA. Talk about him playing on the fourth line right now.
Here we go again, where the Rangers don't support a very top goalie. Again, we're at this again for another decade and a half.
I remember those early days of Henrik Lundqvist, where if he let up a second goal in the playoffs, he was going to lose. And yeah, right back to it. Lundqvist will not be for Team Sweden this year, but Sweden's probably the third best team in the field as we take a look at the 2026 Olympics here. We'll go through all the groups and stuff like that here. First up, let's talk about Group A, where you got Canada, Czechia, France, and Switzerland. If I'm picking how these teams are going to finish, now the format is round robin for all these teams. Then they go to a 1 through 12 system where the top 4 teams get a bye. So 3 group winners plus a wild card, and then it's 5 through 12. They don't reseed in that first round. It'll be, the 5-12 winner will play the 4, 6-11 winner plays the 3, so on and so forth. Then they'll reseed once they get to the semi. So here's your Group A: Canada, Czechia, Switzerland, Finland. Group B: Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and Italy. C: USA, Germany, Denmark, and Latvia. So I want to talk Group A first, as we see the man down there wearing, is that a blank jersey or is that somebody for Team Canada on the back?
No, this is a blank jersey. Shout out to Tom Becchio. We had a World Junior bet the last time Canada won a gold medal at the World Juniors. It was simple. If I win, he buys me a Team Canada jersey. If the USA won, I would buy him a Team USA jersey. If memory escapes you, Canada won. That's so. Listen,
you got the jersey on.
I got the jersey. So again, thanks, Tom. I wear it. It stays here close. I pull it out every once in a while, just to listen. I'm here to stir the pot for the next 2 weeks. If you guys thought I was unbearable before,
I know.
Saddle up. I'm excited to see the YouTube comments.
That was just the 4 nations.
Yeah, listen, some of you were like, that didn't count. Listen, you will know if I answer your comment on YouTube. You're gonna know it's me. You don't need me to sign off on it. But yes, I am here. This Group A is very Group A-ish. You have a top team, you have 2 other very good teams. And listen, there could only be one country that dominates in French, and that's Canada. I know the French are, but this is not it, man. The French team's going there. We're doing our best, right? We're trying, but
So Switzerland and Chechnya not coming out of that group.
So one of them. Well, here's the thing. So
everybody qualifies, by the way.
So Canada. I think we can agree. Canada's 1, France is the 4 here, and then it's just a matter of 2, 3. And in past tournaments, Switzerland has been one of those teams that you got to look out for. They'll give you a hard fight, and I still think they're that. But when you look at Czechya's roster, man, I'm going to bring that up here on the stage, thanks to the Daily Face-Off people. If I could get that going here for a second. There we go. Look at the lineup they got there. Natchez, Hurdle, Pasternak, Kasha, Camp, Palat. Cervenka said, so it's definitely top heavy, but they've got a strong mix of NHLers. Blue line is okay. The way Lucas Dostal was playing down the stretch and Karel Vejmelka, I'm not saying Czechia is going to win a medal, but they will probably win. I would say they are the 5th best team in the Olympics behind Finland. So for me, Czechia 2, Switzerland 3 in that group. Bay.
I mean, Czechia has a really good team. I don't think people know that until you start really digging in there. Are they as top NHL heavy as other teams? Maybe not, but they have solid goaltending. Let's keep it there. Like Karel Vejmelka has been good in the NHL. Lucas Dostal has been good as well. There have been times they have a very defensive group, right, on the back end. You're probably not going to see a ton of guys jumping up, but very, very solid, and you need those guys. And they have a good mix up front of players who could find the back of the net. Like David Pasternak's pretty good at firing the puck and burying it. So Switzerland, I think, has to play to their strengths, which is a good technical defensive game. Wait for your chances. They cannot get into a track meet with Canada or Czechia. You can't do that. You have to have good goaltending. You have to play your system. It might not be the most exciting hockey for Switzerland, but listen, the Devils went on this generational run in the early 2000s where they won Stanley Cups, putting people to sleep because that's the defensive system they wanted to play. And, Stanley Cups were won. So it wouldn't shock me if Switzerland finishes second, but I think they have a very uphill battle to get over Czechia.
So I think we've got Canada, Czechia, Switzerland, France. Group B, you can make the argument, it's probably the toughest group here because you got 2 teams that could win the group. That's, listen, I know Sweden's the favorite, but Finland's nothing to sneeze at either. And I know Finland's team wasn't necessarily as strong in the 4 nations, but they were dealing with injuries last year. Pulling up their team here, we'll get them on the screen. So that. Looking at Team Finland, Hintz, Rantanen, Granlund, Aho, Lehkonen, Teravainen. This third line here, Luosterainen and Lundell, Kakko is strong. Haula, Tolv, Army. Blue line, very good. Like their weak spot is their goaltending, but it might be nice for UC Saros to actually have some defense in front of him. So maybe that gets him going.
Maybe Saros is like, you know what? It's not Nashville right now. This is a fresh start for me. Maybe he turns back the clock.
This is, listen, all 4 of those lines can give you some of the best defense. They can, when you talk about a team that can shut you down, that's it. That's them. And I know some of you have short memory, but a lot of people looking at this team or similar to what it was at the 4 Nations going, they can't really compete. And they were right there. Like they were right there. And this was a team that had no Maro Heiskanen. They were a little bit banged up, but they went there. And I would say, I don't know if proved is the right word, but they reminded the world that they deserve to be a top 4 nation. So that is, again, quite a lineup. They could win that Group B. They're probably not going to win a lot of like 7-1 hockey games, maybe against Italy, but they will definitely be in every single game that they play. If they lose, it's one of those games where it's a 1-goal loss. Maybe they take take Sweden to overtime, try to collect that loser point, because don't forget, it's 3 points for a win in regulation here. They use the right system. So, right. That lineup can grind you to death. And sometimes that's how you win games.
Now, one thing to keep in mind here is goal differential absolutely matters here. So when you got, when I was looking at the Wednesday games, you got Sweden, Italy. Maybe Sweden takes it easy on the host country. They don't beat them up too bad. They get their 3-4-0 win. No. Teams are going to be running up the score because that will matter. So overs is probably the general lean. Maybe you get like an Italy, Italy, Slovakia, maybe that you could go under, but for the most part, when you've got these big, strong teams playing bottom feeders, they're going to try and run up that score because it's going to matter for them. So
you have no choice because, like you said, it could be the tiebreaker between. So, don't forget, the winner of each group gets a bye, but that 4th team also gets a bye. So you don't have to win your group, but you got to be the next best out of it. And if goals for, goals against come down to making the decision, again, I'm sorry, Italy, but you're going to have to be pounded into the ground. You're going to have to be pounded like a pizza dough. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to happen. So there's no taking your foot off the gas. It's all the way down, suffocate them.
This group, we like Sweden, Finland, Slovakia, Italy, 1 through 4 here. You can make the argument for Finland, Sweden. Let's go into Group C, USA and Germany, Denmark and Latvia. So some would say this is the easiest of the 3 groups. Germany's got some NHL talent, obviously, with Draisaitl, Tim Stützle, Philip Grubauer, Moritz Seider. So they've got some talent there. Denmark also a little bit of a sneaky team there with some NHL talent. Latvia has a couple, not so much there. You're looking at Denmark. You got Lars Eller, Nikolai Ehlers, Oliver Bjorkstrand, just name a few NHLers there. I mean, this group is probably the USA won. I don't think anybody's going to argue there. I think Germany, Denmark, kind of similar to what we talked about with Czechia and Switzerland is going to be your 2, 3, and Latvia is your 4th. But you never know with Latvia because they do have NHL goaltending.
Listen. This is why scoring goals is important in this tournament, and you have to pound the other team because the United States. Let's keep it a stack here. This is the easy group. Okay, this is a walk in the park for Team USA. All you got to do is go out there, pound these 3 opponents, and you have booked your top spot. Right, 1. They will finish 1. They will. If they don't, that's your first sign that you brought the wrong guys because there are some very good U.S. players who are not here, who are on a beach in Mexico somewhere or the Dominican or wherever they were off to. So the United States could have come out here, probably abuse Latvia a little bit, probably abuse Denmark. I think Germany finishes second in this group, mainly because they employ the services of Leon Draisaitl. And I mean, again, Leon is the second best player in the world, maybe 3rd, top 5, however you want to do it. He's going to pull some German wingers with him. I don't know what their names are yet, but don't be surprised if you see a German version of like Zach Hyman. You know what I mean? Like that's what we could see here for them.
So looking at their roster here for the Olympics, like we named all the NHLers, looking for potential other wingers. You got Nico Sturm also from the Wild there, Tobias Reeder, Lucas Reichel, Dominic Cahoon. So, I mean, there's some decent talent there. I would agree. I'd probably put Germany 2nd, Denmark 3rd, Latvia 4th. But honestly, I think Latvia, with the goaltending they have, because they have Shilovs and Merlikins, makes a difference against Denmark. Denmark, they have Freddie Anderson, but I don't think that's going to matter for them.
I can't wait to see Freddie Anderson play for Team Denmark. Like, I get he's getting older. He's been borderline horrendous on a very good Carolina team. So, I could see Denmark finishing last in this group. Latvia and Denmark probably play it close. If it comes down to goaltending, water gun to my head, it's definitely Latvia. I'm not trusting Freddie Anderson. Not doing that again.
All right. So we've gone through each group now. Now we got to go with 1 through 12. So we agree that because Team USA has the easiest group and they should just knock the crap out of everybody, we're going to give them that top spot because they're probably going to be the only. They will go 3-0, barring a catastrophe. They're going to go 3-0, so they get the 1st overall seed. We have a problem putting Canada 2nd here. I think they're the 2nd seed.
I think that's fair.
Sweden, Finland. I mean, I know we're kind of going chalk here, but I mean, I can make the argument for Czechia maybe to take that 4th spot, but until further notice, it's tough to go against Sweden, Finland. Your top 4.
Sweden 3.
Sweden 3. Yes.
Sweden 3, Finland. Okay. Healy also checking in. Anderson had a couple good starts as of late, but that's the other thing too. Like, he gets hurt. That's it. Denmark's goodbye. They're down with France and Italy at that point.
Okay, but wait. Do you think Finland though finishes 4th as the next best team? Because here's the problem: they have a tough division. So they're going to take the loss. I don't think they outscore any of their opponents by a crazy metric, right? I don't think so. So my next guess is if they keep it close enough, if goals for, goals against come down to mattering, like could maybe Germany sneak that 4 spot, or could maybe
Czech.
somebody out of or Czech? Yes, like again, it's not that Finland isn't going to get it. They could probably still go like 2-1 in that tournament, right? But because it's too close, right? Some other teams are going to go 2-1 as well. And then if it comes down to goals for, goals against, I feel like it's tough.
What I think is going to help them there, Italy's going to get the doors beaten off of them in every game. Slovakia's got a couple of NHLers, Slavkovsky and a couple others, but they really aren't a deep team. So I think Finland can beat up on those two, and that'll be enough to get them that 4 spot. Somebody who finishes second has to get it. I don't know if it's going to be Germany. You can make an argument for. Czechia, you can make an argument for. But again, Czechia also. So, I'll do this. I had Czechia 5th, Germany 6th. So let's put Germany 5th, Czechia 6th. Is that fair?
Okay, and we'll leave the Finns there. It's not, again, that Group B is going to be fun. I am definitely waking up because I want to see Finland and Sweden go at it because those countries hate each other, and I'm here for it.
All right, so next, I'll put Switzerland 7th. Now it starts to get a little hairy. Denmark, Slovakia, Latvia, France, Italy. I almost think you got to go bottom up here. Italy last, France second to last, and then it's Denmark, Slovakia, Latvia, however you want to put those 3.
I think the best out of those is probably Slovakia.
Okay. All right.
And then what did you say was Denmark and Latvia?
Denmark and Latvia.
Man. Does anybody have a coin? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to.
I could flip a Kiefer Sherwood card. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right. Face will be Latvia. Stat side will be Denmark. Denmark it is.
Denmark it is. That was the most official way we could have come up with this. I love it.
Sorry, Kiefer. I hope you. I saw that.
How did you guys decide between Latvia and Denmark? We flipped a Kiefer Sherwood card.
We flipped the Canadian over. That's probably going to be playing with Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini when they get back. So there we go. So our 1 through 12: United States, Canada, Sweden, Finland getting a bye. Germany, Finland, Switzerland, Slovakia, Denmark, Latvia, France, Italy. Okay. So now we got to go through the first round here. Germany, Italy, given to Germany, right? All right.
Thanks for coming to the tournament, Italy. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks for the hosting, and thanks for the hospitality and all that. But
the linguine, the fettuccine. Thank you for all of that, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, next up, the next one is going to be Czechia, France. Czechia will give that to. Then Switzerland, Latvia will give to Switzerland, and then Slovakia, Denmark. Do we flip the card again, or are we going to just give it to Slovakia?
No, it's got to be Slovakia, right?
Yeah.
I can make an argument either way, but for the sake of the conversation, so the top 8 go there. So now you got Slovakia versus the United States, Switzerland versus Canada, Czechia versus Sweden in an interesting matchup, and Finland versus Germany. Are we predicting any upsets of those 4? Or are we going chalk here?
Finland beats Germany. That I think we can deal with, because like
Canada beats Switzerland, US beats Slovakia. Czechia, Sweden upset, or are we going to go Sweden?
Sweden.
No, it's got to be Swedes.
I think that's a close game, but yeah. I might take Czechia on the puck line plus 1.5. By the way, that's one thing you will see in this tournament. Do you think it's crazy to see puck lines that are up to 2.5? I'm just looking at on Wednesday. Sweden puck line is minus 4.5 over Italy. That is crazy.
4.5 over Italy?
Yeah, minus 4.5 to cover the puck line there.
Man, I got to go out and get a second mortgage right there just for that game.
So there we go. So, all right. So we have United States, Finland, Canada, Sweden in your semis. Are we going to predict an upset for either of these? I think Sweden could give Canada a fight, but I still think Canada gets to the gold medal game. I'm not going to pick against them anyway. Could Finland upset the United States? I think so, but I'm not going to say it. But I think they could. I'm still going to go. Again, it's chalk, USA, Canada.
Thing is Connor Hellebuck ready for the moment? He didn't seem.
Excellent question.
He didn't seem so ready during the 4 Nations or the playoffs. And then you also got a Jake Ottinger who's not been Jake Ottinger. That's another thing as well as the backup goalie. So on paper, those guys are top goalies. But I mean, as we've seen over the last year and a half, there's been struggles with those 2 guys. Maybe the Olympic play turns it up a notch for them, but man,
I think the longer that game goes tied, the worse it is for the United States.
Yes.
Because then you're going to give Finland an opportunity to Finland's going to be like, hey, we got this. You know what I mean? The longer that game and the closer that it is, the more they're going to feel like it's just one break that you need, right? And that's basically how it goes in international tournaments. All you need is one opportunity, one break. Let's not forget as well, this is international officiating. They will call a penalty with under 2 minutes left in the third period in a semifinal game. They do not care. And it's probably going to be questionable. So there are lots of kind of like hockey will be called hockey. This isn't the NHL standard where if you stab a guy with your skate with 2 minutes left, ref's like, nah, man, keep it moving.
Sorry.
No, that's not happening here. So again, I think the longer that game goes tied, and it's not like Finland, again, there's a full lineup of NHL players. So it's not like they can't play physical. They can't shut down they see these guys all the time in the NHL. And again, I mean, down the middle, Finland has, I know on, the Florida Panthers, it's mainly, Barkov's not there, but when he is, he's there, and Sam Bennett and all these other guys. But Luostarinen is really good. So they can just grind you to a halt. And that's the way Finland can play. If I say Finland upsets the United States, you're like, Chris, you just hate the United States.
You're a Canada homer, but it's
right,
not. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not
at all.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities. I want to see the United States there because I don't want to hear any excuses when Canada, pumps them again on the international stage. No excuses. But the United States got to do their part. You know what I mean? Get to the dance. Do your part.
Unfortunately, in this tournament, there won't be like a USA-Canada round robin meeting and then a potential medal round meeting again. So if we see it, it's not going to be till we get to that field.
Yeah, so get there.
All right, so now let's do medal predictions here. I hate to pick against my country. I hope I'm wrong. And if Canada's going to lose, it's because their goaltending is atrocious. But maybe Logan Thompson gets it. Logan Thompson finds it. I'm not having any faith in Binnington doing what he did in the Four Nations again. So Canada's proven that they can overcome, we'll say, mediocre goaltending in the past. I know Team USA's got the edge there. But, every time USA-Canada on a big stage, Canada prevails, at least for the men. So,
and listen, Tom Wilson's going to be here, okay? I don't know. Listen, I need Tom Wilson to lock in, all right? I need, because I've been searching the internet for a Tom Wilson gets ejected from a game bet. I can't find it. But if you find it, please let me know. Because, again, the mortgage on the over. Tom Wilson's going to get thrown out in the preliminary round of some game. I don't know which one it is for a questionable hit, but he's going to do it. So that's the bet. I'm locking in no matter what. But, again, the United States, if you take what they did at the Four Nations, they wanted to come in, throw their weight around, be the more physical, dominating team, which is okay. But Canada's also got a little bit of that edge. That's where I think Tom Wilson's going to make the most sense, right? And then it's going to be Canada trying to execute and take advantage of those micro mistakes, right? The way we saw it at the same thing at the Four Nations, it's just a mental breakdown by Austin Matthews, right? On par, just loses, leaving Connor McDavid in the slot by himself is certainly a choice, right? So it's going to be about that. Hockey is a game of mistakes. You have to capitalize on it. Same thing with Canada. You cannot make those errors. You have to be tight. You have to be locked in at all times.
All right. So I'm going to go Canada gold, USA silver, Finland bronze. I think they would beat Sweden in a bronze medal game. So that's going to be my top three. Ant, what do you got?
I am going to go Canada, USA, Sweden.
Chris.
Top three.
I mean, listen. Canada at the top. Let's not get it twisted, right? I need the United States to lose in the gold medal game. If sure they could lose to Finland and then win bronze, but that wouldn't be as cool. So I need them to lose in the. I need the USA to lose to Canada, so they will finish second. I would also take the Finns in a bronze medal game. I think that first matchup, the fact that they get to play each other in the preliminaries and then maybe possibly meet again, sometimes that benefits the team that lost because you said, okay, well, now we have something to build on. The team that won just has to, re-execute what they've done, right? We did it once, keep the sauce the same. But again, maybe Finland says, okay, now we know what we're getting, or we understand how they're trying to play it, or what they're going to bring at us, and now we can adjust. And if there's any team that can really adjust, it's the Finns.
I'm going to run through. So there we go. We've made our predictions. We've run through the groups, all that. Quickly before we get out of here, we'll see on Thursday for a little USA Latvia post game and all that. I went through DraftKings and I looked at all the props that are available for the Olympics. And here's some of the ones I like. Czechia to advance further than Switzerland, minus 120. Like that one a lot.
Okay.
A little long shot here. Kyle Connor to lead Team USA in goals, 22-1. Here's the thing. Right now, he's on a third line with Dylan Larkin and Tage Thompson. A lot of the attention is going to go on those against those top two lines. I think that third line cooks for Team USA. Kyle Connor, a little bit of an axe to grind after, maybe not getting to play in the gold medal game against Four Nations last year. So I like that one. Andre Palat plus 155 to register 2+ tournament points. I don't think that's really asking for a lot for a guy playing in Czechia's top 6. Rasmus Dahlin over 4.5 points, minus 130. He's not on the power play, but he's on the top pairing for Sweden. Carlson's currently slated to run the point on the top Swedish power play. Hero Heiskanen over 4.5 points, minus 105. I know he's not an offensive machine, but for Team Finland, he's going to have to play that role to a degree. Top pairing, top power play. Cale Makar over 6.5 points, minus 115. He might get that on secondary assists alone. Forget about goals and primary assists. He might get that on secondaries. Brady Tkachuk. Oh, what?
That's for the whole tournament? 6.5 points?
Yeah, like that's a no-brainer. Brady Tkachuk over 5.5 points, minus 125. Right now, they're going to be on a line. Brady, Matthew, Tkachuk, and Eichel are going to be in the same line. So I like over 5.5 points, minus 125. Eichel and Matthews are at 6.5 at minus 110. Eichel and Matthew Tkachuk are 6.5, minus 110, and plus 110 respectively. I would look at those as well. But there's some points, some props I like before the puck drops.
What about Ratko Gudas hits? Do we have anything on the Ratko?
I wish
Gudas
they
hits?
had that.
What about Tom Wilson's suspension? Can somebody put up a Tom Wilson prop that involves him getting kicked out? I'm just trying to make $1 here, okay?
Layla Edwards for Team USA has been impressive. That's where I will say USA is going to win gold. Give me the women's to win gold over Canada. It's time. It's time, baby.
God. Okay.
So it's been a while.
Okay. Now, what about what's Leon Draisaitl's prop in any way, shape, or form?
All right. See, player futures. Let's see.
Any points?
Top point scorer in the tournament. Leon Draisaitl's 20-1.
But what about, like, how many points do they have in projected? I would take the over on whatever. If Germany is going to get, like, if they score, let's say they score 5 goals in this tournament, he's going to have 5 points. Like, I assume he's going to assist on everything or either score it.
So they don't have Team Germany, Leon Draisaitl to be the top point getter, minus 120. That's not a bad one either. If you want to go to Switzerland plus 310, that's a way to go.
Nah. That's not as fun.
I like that minus 120 for Draisaitl, lead Germany in scoring. Go to DraftKings. I haven't looked at FanDuel yet, but you'll definitely find some usable, winnable props there. Before we get out of here, of course, got to go around the table and promote what's coming up. Now, it's Subway to Shea podcast, but I believe we're going to be looking like a winter baseball. It's going to be the Plane to the Winter Baseball Classic or something like that. We're going to change the name. I don't know.
No. Tonight we have a live show for the spring training preview. I have Keith Arad, who's the voice of Mets Radio. He's going to be coming on, joining me for that. And then tomorrow we are going to start doing our World Baseball Classic preview. WBC TV is going to be the show.
I like it. Now, listen, I'm not just blowing smoke here because you're a friend and we do a show together and we know each other well. You really do a top-notch job with the podcast and people you get. Like, you really, if you're a Mets fan or even an NL East fan that wants to keep tabs on one of your rivals, Subway to Shea podcast, man, that's where it's at.
If you're a Mets fan, though, you should probably seek some, mental health services.
And here's the thing. If you don't want to get too much Mets, but you're still a Met fan and you want to watch Ant here, you can gauge how the Mets are doing based on his overall attitude and demeanor during the show. I mean, there were a couple of points last year where I thought he was going to be like, fellas, I can't do this.
We were getting there.
That makes sense.
Slapshot podcast. What do we got, Chris?
Listen, we're going to go. There's going to be a show Wednesday breaking down, obviously, before Canada's first game. Going to go through a little bit of the tournament. I also had some props, but I'm not going to share them here, so you're going to have to listen.
Aha.
I'm sorry, I can't give it all away, but I am looking. If you know a Tom Wilson spot where I can bet the over on him getting kicked out of a game, just want to get one major penalty. Like, does he get it in the first 5 shifts? Like, I would still bet the over.
You can also find Chris's work, fantasyalarm.com/NHL. He gives you picks there. Of course, I've got Rip and Riff with Mr. Jared Moore. We just posted this week's episode. We're going to be off next week. So check that out. Super Bowl recap, a little hockey talk there. But yeah, and also you could catch me making picks Tuesday nights over on VSiN very late in the night, about 1:45 Eastern time. But nonetheless, I will make picks for the upcoming Wednesday, either NHL slate or hockey slate on that one. But that does it for our Olympic preview. Now we're going to be back with you on Thursday. All right. We'll come back after, should be the tail end of USA Latvia, hopefully a blowout for Team USA. Talk about the games that happen on Wednesday. We'll preview the games that'll happen on Friday as well. But appreciate you checking us out, whether you're watching live or tomorrow, to get a little Olympic hockey preview there. Go Team USA. But for the boys, that Ant Rivera 86 and that Fuzzy Chris 91 holding up that Canadian napkin that should be wipe our Wingstop sauce stains off. I'm Adam Bernard. Back with you on Thursday. Talk a little Olympic hockey. Total Hockey Now. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Ant said he had the